Hey everyone, it's Stacy from My Petite Garden. Welcome back to another video and welcome if you are new here. So today's video is going to be a little bit of this and a little bit of that. We just got back from our vacation to California. So it's been about a week now since we've been back, and I wanted to share some tidbits from the trip with you guys. And also, right before we went on our trip, we also had a chance to go visit our local plant nursery for their flower and garden show. So I also have a little bit of footage from that as well. So I thought I'd include that in this video. And then I want to do some plant updates with you all, just kind of walk around and share some plant updates and see how my plants are doing. It is now fully into spring, even though in New York it's still feeling quite chilly. But I wanted to just check up on my plants with you all and see where they're at and how they're doing. So I hope you guys enjoy this video. I know it's kind of a hodgepodge of things. I've been a little bit sporadic with my uploading lately just because there's been a lot going on in my personal life. So with preparing for our trip to California and then coming back, trying to settle back into things. Also because the weather's getting better, we are spending more and more time with our family and friends doing things outside, so I might not have a chance to film as much. I will try my best to upload as often as I can, so I hope you guys stick around and let's get started. We actually try to come visit the Hicks Nursery Flower and Garden Show every year in the springtime, and every year it seems to just get better and better. And this year we visited towards the tail end of the show. This was the last weekend, I believe, that they were going to have the show. And it was such an amazing show. We all had such a great time. This exhibit here was inspired by the animated film Up, which is my favorite movie of all time. And my son also really enjoyed the movie, so we really loved this exhibit. I love water features in gardening exhibits. I find them so calming and soothing. I really loved how they highlighted the dandelion because it's seen as a weed, but then they highlighted it in this feature here. It was so nice to see the tables and tables of spring flowers and all the different colors of these different blooms. It was just really uplifting, and it definitely puts a smile on your face for sure. My favorite of that day were definitely these columbines. They were so beautiful and their flowers are so unique. The indoor plant selection wasn't quite as exciting, but there were still some really nice things to look at. I found this pot of Peperomia Hope that was really cute, and then I stumbled upon this gorgeous pot of parallel Peperomia. I'll put the scientific name on the screen. I used to have this and I think I sold it when we moved. I was really tempted, but I told myself I really don't need any more plants at this point. The air plants also look really great here, and I love the texture that air plants add to a space. So if I were to add any more plants to my collection, it would probably be air plants, and they're also so low maintenance. We then stopped by for lunch, and the area we had lunch had a really nice marina area, so we got to hang around here for a little bit. Now we are finally in California for our vacation. Before we had our son, we used to visit California almost every single year, at least once a year, and we loved the OC area, the Orange County area. One of my favorite places in the OC is Laguna Beach. I have a special place in my heart for this place. I will always stop by if I can on my visits here. Southern California is like a second home to me, mainly because a lot of our friends have moved out here from New York, so we visit quite often. I almost feel like I know this place just as well as my own area, and one of our favorite spots is Earth Cafe, specifically the location in Laguna Beach. The next clips will be of us and our friends and their kids at the San Diego Safari Park. It was one of the things that we really wanted to do with our kids here. And it was a nice time. It was quite expensive, not going to lie, but I think we all enjoyed it. And knowing that the money goes back into conservation is definitely a good thing. Then we stumbled upon this area here where there were a lot of hanging pots of epiphytic plants like Ripsalis, Epiphyllum, and it's called the Epiphyllum Trail. And I'm not gonna lie, this was one of my favorite parts of the park and it got me the most excited.
Banberry boy.
Wow.
It's high up, right?
Then we quickly hopped over to Balboa Park because I really wanted to visit their newly renovated botanical building. My friend was telling me that it took them, I think, like 3 years to renovate. It was really beautiful on the outside and especially on the inside. The structure and the architecture of this building is simply stunning. It took my breath away, and just being able to spend time here, I just feel really grateful. And being around all the greenery and just the beautifulness of it all is amazing. Then we went to downtown San Diego and we stopped by Verbatim Books, which was a beautiful bookstore there, and they sell secondhand books. For this trip, we mostly spent a lot of time with our friends that we haven't seen in a while and just relaxing. There wasn't a lot on the itinerary. We purposely made it so that we don't feel rushed and just be able to enjoy the space that we're in, especially being back in California after such a long time, after we had our child. And this is our son's first time in California. I really wanted to make it very special for him because it is such a special place to me. And I hope you guys enjoy these little footages that I was able to capture. Alright, now let's move on to the plant updates section of this video. The first plant I want to share is my Adenia Meninada. This plant has made quite some progress this spring. I had this plant as just a trunk. Basically, I had to chop off all the leaves and the stems because it was, I think, infested with mealybugs at one point. So I'll show you where I chopped it off. You see that right there? It's a pretty rough cut. I chopped it off right there. It did not sprout new stems or do anything for almost a year, I want to say. And finally this spring it started sprouting, and I'm so happy it did because I was starting to think that nothing was going to happen ever again with this plant, and I really loved it. So now I am trying my best to keep it happy and healthy. Then I definitely want to talk a little bit about my Hoya Kanyaku because it's come a really long way. Another one that was struggling quite a bit for a long time. It was very bleached. I think it was bleached from malnutrition. The leaves were pretty much almost turning yellow to a point because it was so bleached out. And now you can see that the leaves are much more greener, especially the new leaves coming out. So if you look closely and you'll see the darker colored leaves, those are the newer growth. And you can see the difference in the shade of green that they are. And because it's so much darker now, it's looking a lot more greener, and it's telling me that it is a lot happier and healthier. I have it growing in pond, so I'm really happy it likes being in pond because there are quite a few plants of mine that I find didn't really enjoy being in pond. So this is one that actually does like it. So we're gonna keep an eye on it and hopefully it continues to do well. Next, I want to take a look at my Mandula Potos, my larger one. I am showing you guys here in this footage that some of the leaves have this yellowing on the outer margins, and those are the leaves that are facing the sun. And then if you turn to the back here where it's more protected from the sun, you see that the leaves look a lot better and they look a lot more healthier. So I'm not quite sure if it's because of the direct sunlight, because I don't know if I've experienced this in the past. I probably have, but this is just an observation that I'm making right now. I noticed that the leaves that are kind of more protected look a lot healthier. And I think it's not really direct sunlight it's getting. It's probably bright indirect light that section of the plant is exposed to. And then there's this vine that kind of crawls onto my stool here, and this particular vine is absolutely gorgeous, and it gets dappled afternoon sun on it, so I think it's like just the sweet spot. The leaves are so beautiful, and look at that huge leaf that is on the end there. It's really, really nice. And I'm probably going to give it a little haircut soon, just to give it a fresh trim. And the vines right now are just crawling everywhere. It's going a little wild. It's growing a little too long. So I'm going to probably do a little chop soon, and it'll be good for it. It'll give it a little refresh, a reset. This next plant is my hurricane cactus, and I don't think I've ever shown this plant, or at least not highlighted specifically. This is one that was sold to me as a hurricane cactus, and from what I believe a hurricane cactus to be, it should have kind of like spiraling stems or foliage, whatever you call the tendrils. Mine, however, does not have a tendency to curl, which is fine. I still think it's beautiful. However, I think it might have to do with not giving it enough light. I'm not sure if that's true or not, but you see that little section there where there's a little bit of a curl? I think that's what it's supposed to actually look like. And maybe I'm not giving it enough light to help it do that. I don't know if that's true or not, but yeah. And it's grown so much and it's grown wild. I think it looks amazing as a statement plant. I really need to repot it because you see that little pot it's in? Yeah, it's definitely outgrown it. Next is my Ripalis Ewaldiana. This is a fairly new addition, if not the newest addition, I think, to my plant collection. This one I picked up, I think, about a month or so ago at a plant shop where my husband and I were doing a pottery lesson, and I spotted this beautiful Ripalis and I had to take it home. I can't help myself when it comes to Ripalis. Yeah, so it's grown quite a bit now. If you see the lighter color, that's the new growth. Then I want to give you guys a little bit of an update on the Pilea peperomioides white splash that I repotted with you guys in a previous video. You can see how much it has grown. It's gotten a lot fuller and it's just looking great. I really adore this plant and it's making me want just a regular one as well, one that's not variegated. I used to have one a long time ago. I think that was my first houseplant that I ever got for myself back in 2018. One thing I am noticing with the variegation or the white splash, I'm noticing that the newer leaves aren't as patchy when it comes to the white part. So I see more like speckles of white instead of just the bigger splotches like you see on the older leaves. Lastly, I want to share my Hoya Kentiana Lori Lynn and just give it a moment here on my video because I don't know if I really talked about this plant either. And it is one of my favorite Hoyas currently. It grows beautifully and the variegation on this plant is just unreal, to be honest. And I have had this plant for quite a long time. I used to chop it and propagate it and share it. And lately I haven't done that. I just let it kind of grow and grow, and now it's gotten really full. And I really like the look of it like this. There are some leaves that are a lot more white and then some are a lot more pink. And it's just like a nice little mix of different colors. So it makes it really unique and beautiful. So that will be it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it and I will see you in the next one. Bye!